Hey guys, and welcome to my pickups video, another pickups video, and this one for the month of March 2016. And it's actually been a pretty decent month for me. Not quite as loaded up as last month was, since I got my PS4 and I had the extra money to spend and I went a little overboard. I still do have an ample amount of stuff to show today. And as usual, I'm going to start off by showing my Blu-rays, movies, etc., that I picked up for this month. And let's just go ahead and jump right on in. And the first thing I've got to show is Zodiac, the 2-disc Director's Cut Blu-ray. I have not seen this movie, but the reason why I picked this up was, one, it was relatively cheap, less than $10 on Amazon. And back in the summer of, I believe it was 1998, I traveled, at that time I was living in Montana, and I traveled to here in Missouri to visit my dad and my grandma. And on one of those, it was on a bus trip, very long bus trip. I believe it was on my way back to Montana from here in Missouri. A guy on the bus was reading a book, and he offered it to me. He was done or whatever it was, and I didn't have anything to read, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? It was a nice gesture. Hopefully it was a nice gesture, considering that the book was about the Zodiac Killer, which is what this movie is about. Anyway, I read a portion of the book because I didn't have enough time on the bus to finish the whole thing, but I found it very interesting. It's a real serial killer, I believe in the 70s. I'm not exactly 100% sure when the time frame is. I forget. 60s, maybe into the 70s. The front of this is made to look like an envelope that was mailed to the San Francisco Chronicle. Anyway, the movie is about some newspaper reporters, I guess, who get involved with law enforcement in trying to track down and figure out who the Zodiac Killer was, I believe, because I don't think he was ever caught. But the movie has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. It has Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr., is directed by David Fincher, and like I said, it was cheap. I got to thinking about that book and the fact that there was a movie out there. I've heard that this is like a really good performance by Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr., so I just wanted to pick it up. Like I said, it was relatively cheap and I was able to get it, and I got it for my collection. Now, the next movie I have to show is a movie that I'm a little surprised I waited this long to pick up, especially because I kind of pride myself on having a collection within my collection of movies of sort of the weirder, controversial type movies that are out there. And this is one that not only would rank in there really, really well, but I've never got to see it also like the last movie, but I wanted to really bad, and this is Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. I'm like super stoked to finally have this movie. I don't even know where to begin with it. I just know that this movie is so screwed up, and I really, really enjoy that kind of stuff. I've been, like I said, stoked to see this movie for so long, and now I've got it. I will finally get to watch it. Alright, the next thing I have to show here is a movie called When Marnie Was There. What I hope will not be the last movie from Studio Ghibli, but it possibly may be. It is not a movie by Hayao Miyazaki. This one was directed by Yoshiaki Nishimura. Hopefully I'm not mangling the pronunciation of that name. And it says a film by Hiromasa Yonebayashi. Did I look at this correctly on the back? Oh, that's the producer. I mentioned the producer. Well, anyway, this is a Studio Ghibli film done after Miyazaki had retired by someone else. I was on the fence for a while about buying this, but the more I read about it, the more I was like, it just sounds somewhat haunting and probably going to be a sad movie. But I just really, really like it. The animation is great in my opinion, and it looks to be something pretty awesome. So I had to pick it up when Marnie was there. I'm probably going to start branching out and grabbing more of the Studio Ghibli movies and what I already own. Alright, the next thing that I have is another addition to my ample WWE collection, and this is NXT's Greatest Matches Volume 1. Now, I don't watch the current product, but I keep up on it online, lots of Facebook and Yahoo and Twitter and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And I do know, I'm aware of NXT's existence, and I'm aware of the fact that a lot of people say that this little mini promotion within a promotion is one of the hottest things out there. A lot of phenomenal wrestlers are coming out of this and going to the main roster, and this is going to be an awesome collection of matches. 8 hours worth of running time on this, and you can see a lot of faces that are in the company today, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, got Sasha Banks, Paige, just many more. And this is going to have matches from guys including like Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Neville, Antonio Cesaro. So it's just loaded, and I'm just excited. It'll be my way to finally be able to see and like show some support to the NXT group. So I was really excited to grab that one. Alright, and the next thing that I have up here is the Peanuts movie, and this is the big box for the limited edition gift set that came with the little pilot Snoopy. I've been wanting this honestly, this is as much for me as it is for my daughter. This is for my daughter. She's already had this since I bought the movie. She loves Snoopy, she loves stuffed animals, so this went right to her. But I wanted to buy this movie as much for me to watch it because I'm a Peanuts fan, and I've watched the old cartoon movies and read the comics in the newspapers for years, and I've heard really good things about this movie. So I was just super excited to pick this up. Now, the Blu-ray costs the same much. The Blu-ray by itself cost the exact same amount as this box set did. So obviously it was a no-brainer to pick that up and then be able to give Snoopy to my daughter. Alright, we're coming down to the last two movies that I have to show off before we jump into the games. And the first one here is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, the final installment of the Hunger Games saga. I have only watched the first movie, and I'm sad that I've gotten behind on the series, that the last one has come out now. But I did read all the books, and I loved the books, so I'm hoping that the entirety of the movie series is really good. And then this was probably my most anticipated movie up to the end of March. April has a couple of heavy hitters that I can't wait to get next month. But this was probably my most anticipated movie release this month, and it came out today. This is Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. I've pretty much seen, I guess, all of his movies now, except for some reason, the Kill Bill movies and Reservoir Dogs. At least I own Reservoir Dogs now. One of these days I'm going to buy the Kill Bill like Volume 1 and 2 set that I keep expecting they're going to release on Blu-ray. But anyway, I really love Django Unchained and Glorious Bastards, and I'm just expecting Hateful Eight to rock it like the last several movies have. I've heard lots of good things both online and from a few personal friends who've seen it. So The Hateful Eight, thank goodness it's finally out, and I can sit down for the 3 hours and 8 minutes that it runs. Am I correct there? 168 minutes is what I remembered reading. And now I can't see it anywhere on here. Yeah, there it is, 168 minutes. Okay, so enough of that. Now it is time to jump to the video games. And everything that I'm going to have to show is new for my PS4, with the exception of the first game, which is a Wii game. And this is not a brand new release, but this is the first time released on Nintendo on the Nintendo Selects line of games. This is Super Mario All-Stars for the Wii. This is Super Mario, what is it? It's Super Mario All-Stars. I had this on the Super Nintendo. That far back in time, I had this collection. Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels. The only way that this could have been made any more awesome for me is if Super Mario World had been included on this. because that's pretty much my favorite Super Mario game of all time. But this will do. I'm looking forward to jumping into it at some point and reminiscing about the old days of Mario. Now it's time to get to this decent stack of PS4 games. So we're going to start right off with Wolfenstein The New Order. This game finally dropped to $20 at the store that I work at. I've been watching it since before I had a PS4. I need to pick up the Old Blood, the DLC that they released for this that got its own physical release. I expect to pick that up sometime in the near future, but I've been looking forward to this one for quite a while because it had really good reviews the year that it came out. And I think I even picked it up for the 360, but returned it before I had opened it so I could get the PS4 version. And this is another game that I did the same thing with. I had the 360 version. I never really played it. And I thought, if I'm going to get a PS4, I would want to upgrade to it, so I ditched that game. Anyway, it was The Evil Within. I have and haven't been looking forward to this one, and I'll explain why really quickly. When I first heard the announcement for this, I was excited about it because I felt like it was going to take us back to a game that would remind us of the first couple installments of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and those games that were a little more slow and deliberately paced, and not like the way they turned the newer Resident Evil games into more of an action-style game. Thing about it was, I've heard that this one didn't quite fit that bill, and I've also heard that it's a little on the difficult side, so I'm afraid that it's probably going to kick my ass a little bit. But that's alright, I will still enjoy every minute of it while it lasts. Now here's a very interesting one. This is a game that I bought, and then I got rid of, and then I decided to purchase it back again here recently because it was still, it had dropped to a cheap price again. And this is the Dishonored Definitive Edition. This was the first game that I owned for the PS4. I think I mentioned this in the last pickups video where I first started showing off my PS4 stuff. But I felt really bad that I got rid of it, even though I had felt justified in getting rid of it in the first place. But the collector in me was just like, no, idiot, you need to pick it back up. And so now I have it again for the PS4. Now, I'm really, really stoked about the fact that the PS4 is enabling me to get games that I have bought for the PS3 or that I would have wanted to buy for the PS3, but since my PS3 is slightly defective and I can't play games at full HD with it, there are a bunch of these games that are out for the PS4. I've already bought some in previous, showed some in previous pickup videos, and I have some here to show again now, including like the Dishonored one. But this one here is Saints Row 4 Reelected and the Gat Out of Hell DLC, which from what I've heard is actually a code in here. The Xbox One version of this actually got it on disc. But whatever, I don't really care all that much. My opinion on Saints Row games kind of all over the place. I've always wanted to play the first two because I thought they would be a good complement to like the GTA gameplay and stories and whatnot. But I think that the company behind this, Volition, I think they were of the mindset that their first two games were maybe a little too similar to GTA. So with 3 and 4, they went way, way out there with their game. And I was just like, screw it, I'll go ahead and pick this up. I own Saints Row 3 on Steam, but I've only played a little bit of it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a strange game. I expect this to be the same. But I just couldn't pass up. Most of the games that I'm showing here right now, I've paid $20 or less for each. And here's another good example of this. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. I bought it for the PS3. I really wanted to play it. The GTA-style gameplay set in Japan, I believe it is. And, Hong Kong. So in China. And I was really looking forward to playing this. And then my PS3's HDMI output went out. And so now I've got it for the PS4, and I'll get to enjoy it in slightly remastered splendor. Now we've got some games that, the first one here is a PlayStation 4 exclusive another one of the early PS4 games that I was jealous I wouldn't get to play. Woo! And then I'm throwing it around. I was jealous that I wouldn't get to play it because I don't have a PS4, but now I get to. That's Infamous Second Son. Really looking forward to this. I watched a little bit of gameplay of it on YouTube and Twitch when it first came out. and then I stopped because I was like, should some crazy alignment of the planets allow me to get a PS4, this would be something I would want to play. Well, that happened. I have the PS4, and now I have the game. Here's a couple games that I was really keen to get as soon as possible. Not really sure why, because I want to play through the earlier games first. But anyway, I got Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Unity. Now with the purchase of these games, I essentially have the entire main line of Assassin's Creed games, with the exception of Syndicate, which is the newest one, and it's more expensive. Both of these I got for less than $20 a piece, so I was quick to jump on them. I have all the previous mainline Assassin's Creed games for the PS3. The only Assassin's Creed games that I don't have would be the Liberation game that was, I think, a PSP game that got a PS3, maybe PS4 even, HD remaster that I think you can get online, like a digital copy. It was also included in the Assassin's Creed Americas collection, but I already had the other games that were in that collection. And then I don't have these new Chronicles games that they have out. They're a different kind of gameplay style, and I'm not too hot on how they play, but that's not to say that I wouldn't get those somewhere down the road. Next up here is something else. This is another earlier PS4 game that I was really jealous that I wouldn't get to play it because I wasn't going to get a PS4. Now I have it. It's the Shadow of Mordor, and this is the Game of the Year edition. I really like the looks of this. I've been playing off and on Steam Lord of the Rings War in the North, I believe it's called. It was made by the same developer as this game, and I recognize the way that game plays. I see a lot of it in the way this game plays. So I'm excited to jump into this eventually. I got plenty of games to work on right now. I got 3 more games to show off here. The first one is going to be something somewhat obscure, I would think anyway. This is called Giana Sisters Twisted Dreams, a director's cut. For some reason I thought there wasn't an S on that. But this is sort of like a platform game that I believe was released for the Wii U and maybe some other consoles prior to the PS4 version. And I saw it, I believe, on an Adam Koralik video when he was showing off pickups and he had picked it up for the Wii U. And I looked into it a little bit, and it seems to have pretty decent reviews. It's got a fan base that's behind it. Like I said, I heard that it's pretty difficult, so I guess I'm going to pucker up and just take it. But I at least want to play it at some point and see what I think of it. And it was only around $20 for this game. So now the next 2 games are a little bit more expensive games. One of which just came out today, which I'm going to show first, and that's MLB The Show 16. Baseball is my favorite sport. Sony, for a good handful of years, has been the only company that's they have the rights to MLB, straight MLB video games, at least not something that's weird and arcade-ish or simulation. But on consoles, this is pretty much the only Major League Baseball game that you can find now. And this will be my first chance to play a PS4 version, a current-gen baseball game from a series that I've loved for a long time. I have several installments of this. Not all of them, but several of them. And so I'm really eager to check this out. This will probably be going into my system tonight or tomorrow at the latest, so I can just kind of soak it in. And baseball season is getting ready to start in less than a week. My favorite team, the St. Louis Cardinals, I think their first games are April 3rd, so that's Sunday or Monday. So yeah, it's coming up really soon, and this will be my way to live out the new seasons of baseball since I don't get to watch any games. And I'm going to end with a special edition of a video game that, to be honest with you, a month or more ago, I really didn't know anything about it, but I ended up pre-ordering the standard version of it, and then less than a week before it came out, I actually upgraded to this, the Contraband edition, special edition of a game called Republique. I hope that I am pronouncing that correctly. It's French, I believe, and it should be called Republique. Anyway, this is a game that was being released online in episodes, and I wish I had pulled up the information on it. Some of the people involved in this were involved with like Metal Gear Solid and some other really big franchises. People from these big game franchises got together to release this game episodically. That does have like stealth elements and puzzles and whatnot. And I don't know, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, this sounds pretty cool. And this was going to be released concurrently with the last episode as it came up online and digitally. But the PlayStation 4 got the only physical copy, and this has all, I believe, 5 episodes of the game in this one really cool looking box set. As I showed, the name is on the 2 sides. The back has got a picture of I believe it's the protagonist of the game. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot more about this game. I'm really excited to check it out and see what it's all about. And I think I'm going to do a separate unboxing video of this special little box set alongside, of course, my Just Cause 3 one, which I have been meaning to do already, but it will be done very, very soon. So I'm going to wrap this up now, and thank you for watching. These pickups videos are often my favorite videos that I do on my channel. And it's always awesome when I have a lot of good stuff to show as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you very, very soon in another video.